Airbnbs, absolutely hate it. I've struggled with mental health in the past where I've been depressed.
It gets us, you have billionaires and millionaires that literally commit suicide because it's like, it gets to a point where the money doesn't do anything. How do you balance that in terms of you as business owner and obviously human as well?
It was just very stressful. You might not get paid sometimes because that's sometimes how councils work. That was a very expensive lesson there. Even the times where our food shopping was like £5 to £10 a week.
Make sure he's got his money together, he's got his money checked, what's your mindset on that? Hi guys, and welcome to today's episode of Women Empowered. So I'm excited yet again for today's episode. So I'd love to introduce you to Ashleigh.
Hi guys.
Welcome to the podcast, Ashleigh.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Can you give a little brief snapshot on who you are?
Hi, I'm Ashleigh Louis Davis. I'm a social housing provider in the UK. I also previously used to be a teacher, which is what gave me the passion to go into the business that I actually did. Wow. Before that, I actually tried to pursue dance, which most people don't know that about me. Sometimes I like to do it, sometimes I still like to cheerlead, but I feel like I live through my child when she does her cheerleading. And yes, we've recently moved to Dubai and I'm just looking forward to exploring new opportunities, starting new businesses and just seeing where life can take us while we're here.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you for that intro. So, let's talk about you. So in terms of, you've got your social housing business. However, you used to be a teacher, which is quite intriguing because I used to be a teacher as well. What made you leave teaching?
Oh gosh. Without even sounding horrible, it was just very stressful.
Yeah.
I found that I was spending a lot of time with other people's children instead of mine. A lot of my weekends were spent marking books and I don't know, I just felt like I didn't have the time freedom that I thought I would. So everyone kind of gets really excited about being a teacher because they're like, yes, like I get half terms, I get summers off. But during those term times, it is very, very tough. There's not a lot of you time. There's not a lot of family time. So there's a lot of sacrifices there.
Yeah. So was there a point in teaching that you were like, that was your first career out of university, right?
Yeah, that was my first.
Okay, great. So how long did it take for you to be like, actually, this is not for me? How long?
Probably 6 months.
Okay.
I've got to be honest. The wage wasn't great. And at that time, I was pretty much making the transition from being in a council flat and being on benefits to then going to like a full-time wage. So I didn't realise how much benefits I wouldn't have from working. So most of my money went on childcare. And all I was left with was maybe £150 at the end of the month. And that can't buy me a McDonald's breakfast every day. So, it just got to the point where I was trading a lot of my time for hardly any money. So that's when we just started exploring different options in terms of what we could do.
Okay, cool. So 6 months, I didn't last long in teaching as well, to be fair. I think I left my first job after 18 months, so I do get it. It's fulfilling somewhat with the kids, but at the same time, I just found it a little bit, and not to offend any teachers out there, but I just found it a bit unchallenging for me mentally as well. I'd always feel like it got to a point where it's like, okay, what next? Like I can be head of department, I can be head of year. And the maddest thing about teaching is the more you progress, the less you're with the students.
Right.
And it's like the students, especially if you enjoy that part of it, that's like the bit that you want to do most, right? So for me, the trajectory of teaching just was that, I know I can do more.
Yeah, of course. I think for me, it was more about, I originally went in there to teach dance. Yeah. And then you get there and then all of a sudden dance isn't on the cards anymore. And now I'm doing English and I'm doing science, the things that I didn't actually study for.
Yes.
And then most of the job tend to be me not being a teacher and me being a therapist. So now I'm dealing with all this emotional baggage that these students have. Yeah. And it's quite a lot to take on, especially when you're going through something yourself.
True.
And, you want to do more for the kids, but there's only so much that you can do. With being a teacher, there's so much restrictions, but it's a very hard position to be in.
It is. Yeah. It is, yeah. But let's big up all the teachers out there.
Oh, absolutely.
They do
I've
great
got friends
jobs.
that are teachers and are amazing.
Exactly.
But for me, I'm like, no, I wanted to do more and I couldn't. And I just didn't find the job that fulfilling for me personally. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you left teaching and then what happened next? So what started happening was, while I was at school, I might get in trouble for this, but during my break times and lunch times, I actually didn't take my break to relax. I was working on the business.
Yeah.
So we had Airbnbs at the time, and we were also sourcing properties for investors. And by the end of the day, I was looking at, the bank, and I was earning more in 15 minutes from sourcing properties than I was basically being there for the entire month being a teacher. And it got to the point where it was like, okay, I think it's time to leave. But I think what scared me from leaving at that 6-month point was obviously stability. And I think growing up and having the 9-to-5 mindset, and if you do anything else it might fail and you've got no backup, it's very scary, really, really scary. But plucked at the courage. I left first. My husband stayed in his job because he was on a really good wage, and they also offered him management as well. But I think the safest point for us would be for me to leave first, carry on the business, just get it to where it needs to be. And then obviously he then made the decision to leave about a year later.
Okay, interesting. So you started off with Airbnbs and sourcing, doing really well.
Yeah.
And what made you pivot into social housing?
So Airbnbs, absolutely hate it. Sorry guys, I just I really, really hate it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was because of the environment, that we was in at the time of Airbnb. So most of our Airbnbs were located in Birmingham, and it was just known for parties and balloons and people trashing.
What sort of time of year? What 2020? Like, when timescale wise was this? Would you say?
This was around about between 2017, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just very known for scams and people trashing it. And for me, because it's my first business, I just poured my heart into it. Like, I done the most. I decorated it exactly how I would like it. A lot of the times we didn't have childcare, so we would carry our children to the properties while we were painting. They'd be in their car seat in the back. We'd be there till 4 a.m. in the morning. So when you're pouring so much into a property, emotionally and physically, and then for someone to trash it, you lose the love for it. So we decided to pivot from there and go into HMOs.
Okay.
So we were housing professionals at the time. That was going absolutely great, and then COVID came. No one could afford the rent. People were asking to leave. People wanted to move back with their families, but also we had so many people coming up to us asking us for properties, but they couldn't afford it. And I felt so bad saying no to them. Like, we had to say so many no's, and I hated it. So I had to find a solution. We called up the councils and we said, look, we've got properties, not too sure what we can do with them. Is there any way that we can help? And then that's kind of how we ended up learning about social housing.
Okay. So it was out of an economic environment, right, that you pivoted into social housing. Amazing. And how do you find social housing? Obviously, you said that you don't like Airbnb, and I can relate to you on that because there are pros and cons of every strategy, right? How do you find the social housing side of it, and how different is it to Airbnb? Because there's a lot of, with property now online, there's a lot of information about property. There's a lot of over information on property, and sometimes I feel like certain things cannot be communicated in the right way, or there can be misconceptions as well. But I feel with you and Sean, you've been doing social housing such a long time. You're in the business. You've been, you know what you're doing. So what would you say in terms of the comparison to Airbnb? Like, how does it compare?
Okay. So for me, I think it's quite similar actually, because coming from the background of Airbnbs, we was able to provide something different that other social housing companies weren't providing. So every single room actually looked like an Airbnb. Just because they're homeless, that doesn't mean that they don't deserve to have somewhere beautiful to live. They don't deserve to have extra services. So every single tenant that we had bedding, they had towels, like we made it up, and it was literally like having like a hotel experience. And I think that's why we were so successful with it. To begin with, we didn't have any voids because everybody wanted to be in our properties. So as much as I hate Airbnbs, it actually gave me the skills that I needed to be able to push and scale and systemize the social housing business the way that it needs to be.
So it actually was a competitive advantage you had amongst the other people doing social housing, because it kind of like elevated your profile, I guess, a bit more.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think after that, we were getting calls from like different charities. Councils wanted to work with us because they knew that their tenants would be housed somewhere that's completely safe and secure and beautiful, and we were giving them the support that they needed. And I think especially after COVID, so many people were struggling with their mental health, and especially with me. So I've struggled with mental health in the past, where I've been depressed, and you know, I've turned around and 4 days have gone, I've not even opened the curtains, and there's things all over the floor, and sometimes you don't realise that you're in it until you actually open your eyes and look around. So I just wanted to be that person that eliminated that for them and said, right, here's a clean space to clear your mind, let's start again, and like, let's get you back on your feet.
Wow. And oh yes, so with the social housing, you said earlier with Airbnb you were very hands-on, right, in terms of you put your heart and soul into the way you decorated the properties, and you know, it was, you were emotionally tied to, you know, that strategy as well, because you put so much effort. With social housing, how do you balance that? Because obviously I understand in social housing that you are dealing with different types of people, different levels of need. How do you balance that in terms of you as business owner, and obviously, you know, you as human as well, you know?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I didn't balance it. And I think that's why I was just so stressed and tired all the time in the beginning of our social housing journey, because I was giving more than 100% in everything that I basically did. But my biggest mistake was that I didn't systemize it. And that's why I was just so tired. Yeah, so for me, the balance pretty much came from, again, going back to the skills that I gained from being a teacher. So being there emotionally, but still having that line. So not crossing that line, or, you know, not trying to put any of us in any type of position.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just so grateful. I don't regret anything that has happened to me or anything that I've ever done in life, because everything that I've been through has given me the skills to find that balance and to be able to input that in the business that I have today.
Yeah, yeah. And with social housing, before we move on from that, you know, one of our biggest like reality shocks that we had when we were doing social housing was we had a property and it was like smeared in poo, the whole house.
Oh my God, I've done that as well.
Oh, you've experienced that before?
We've had that as well.
Wow.
I think it's a trend. Is it a trend?
Right, yeah, what's going on? I thought that this was just unique to us.
Yeah. I think that's like I don't know if they have like a bingo card. Right. And they're just like, right, not pay service charge, smear poo all over the wall. Yeah, I like it.
Wow.
It's
so
like a thing.
That was a bit of a shock to us, but you know, whatever, it's part of the game, right? You get someone in to clean it and go, what's like, can you think of any like really, you know, shocking situations that you've had? I mean, the poo is up there, but
I don't know if you can get
anything that's been like, oh wow, okay.
So there was a situation in one of the houses. One of our tenants wasn't showing up for their support sessions. So as a company, we actually provide the support workers too, and like train them, and they do all their files and support plans. And we just couldn't get hold of this tenant. We didn't know where they were. Anyway, we went into the house. They lived at the top floor of the house, and like we just started to smell like a really, really strong smell. And I thought my biggest fear was about to come true, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I actually thought that was what was happening, and I thought, please God, please don't let it be this, because I don't know if I can handle this. Just please don't let it be this. Anyway, so we started like walking up the stairs. I managed to open the door. The tenant was in there, and they were literally covered in vomit, wee, poo, basically anything that you could think of. The entire place was like covered with like animals, so they'd brought animals in off the street. And for me, it's one of those things where it's just like, I can't even get angry at this, because obviously this person doesn't know what they're doing, and obviously they're struggling with mental health, but I'm also human, and I think sometimes we forget, like, we also need help with things like this. Like, I didn't even know how to handle that situation, but I'd say that was probably the worst one that I've had, where the smell still like
haunts you.
Yeah. That entire week, it was just, it was really, really bad. But we got them the help that they needed. It was very expensive.
I can imagine.
To put that room back.
Wow.
Because we don't like voids as a company.
Yes, absolutely.
But at the same time, you know, things need to get cleaned up. So, yeah, that was a very expensive lesson there. Wow. So, after that, I just, like, implemented a little bit more into our systems, just to ensure things like that don't happen again, especially on the onboarding process. So, we only house low-level mental health tenants. So, if they do show signs of higher level and they need more support, then we'd kind of guide them to go somewhere else where they have 24/7 care. Yeah,
that makes sense. I mean, I think with getting into property, I think like social housing is a great strategy to get into, but I think that people do need to be aware of the emotional element to it as well, which you don't have as much in the other strategies. You're still dealing with people in Airbnb, still dealing with people in HMOs, but I guess you are dealing with the somewhat marginalised, right, with social housing. So it's being mindful of that, but it's a great strategy, and it's also very rewarding. I can imagine when, you know, people get themselves together and they move on.
Oh my gosh, we've had so many stories like that. I won't say his name, we'll just call him H. But we had our tenant H, he's already been on social media and spoke about it, so I can do it here. And he came, and I've never seen someone so broken before. And he was in a really, really bad way, but I could see that H had something like within him that we could really help with. He struggled with a lot personally, mentally and physically. There was a lot of trauma that he also came from when he came to us. So he's actually been with us now for 3 years, and he has dropped his addictions.
Amazing.
He's got the help that he needs. He's now driving.
Wow.
His health is getting better. And when I see people like that, I'm just like, that's why I do it, because it's just so rewarding. And I always find that whenever I see that people want to go into social housing, you have to be passionate about it. And I understand that it is very rewarding and the money can be great, but that's not what's going to keep you going. You have to be passionate. You have to understand that some months you might not get paid sometimes, because that's sometimes how councils are.
Right, no, I get it, absolutely.
So the passion has to keep you going and keep you through, and it always has to be the service user at your mind at all times and nothing else.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely not like a copy and paste kind of thing. There has to be it has to be a little bit deeper for you to actually build something amazing with it, because everyone can get into it and have a couple of properties, but to go to the level that is life changing, that actually has impact, you need to go a bit deeper. Of course. Like you have to have the sort of personality for it. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about your Ashleigh as a person, like not the businesswoman, right? So you had your kids young. Well, your first son, he's how old now?
So he's 14.
Okay.
And he'll be 15 in March, which is crazy.
That's crazy. You just don't look like you've got a big child. You know what I mean?
Everyone's really shocked.
Yeah. So tell me about that. So you were a teen mom. I mean, how was that? Like that in itself, like I've always got a soft place in my heart for, you know, people that women that go through those sort of things, because, you know, I saw it with my mom. I've got my 2 older sisters. You know, it's not easy. So, and you can be somewhat marginalized and stereotyped, especially as a black woman, you know. So I definitely have a bit of a soft spot for that. So yeah, tell me a bit about your journey there. You know, how was that?
It was very petrifying, let's just say that. I obviously wasn't expecting to get pregnant. So I got pregnant when I was 17. And it was my last year in sixth form. So I was getting ready to do my thing, go to uni, get into dance. A baby was not on the cards. The reaction that we had wasn't great, and it did impact on my mental health a little bit. And I felt like being in a room and then the ceiling just kind of coming lower and lower and lower and lower and like closing in, because I actually didn't think that I'd be able to get through this. And I think when so many people are like coming at you and they're just like, oh, what are you going to do? Oh, sorry to hear.
Yeah.
It's like, no one's died. I'm just pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was very, very hard. But if I'm being honest, that's also what fueled me, because I'm just like, right, I'm going to prove every one of you wrong. Every single person that said something negative about me being pregnant, every single person that said that that's it, my life is over, I'm going to prove you wrong and show you that it isn't. And I remember, I think it was like a couple of weeks before I actually had Ty, I was actually sitting some of my exams. I finished my exams.
Wow.
And then I had Ty. I had a couple months break, and then I went straight back into studying in September. And the support that I had there at the college, so I went to Warsaw College. And it was just amazing because they had a nursery that was inside the college. So we'd get on the bus, and then I'd take my son with me. He'd go into nursery for the day while I'm studying. And then I'd pick him up at the end of the day, and then we'd catch the bus home. So it just made things so much easier. Something as little as that. And then, it was very hard, I think, because I didn't exactly get to learn every single skill that I needed at that time to be a parent, much less actually be independent, because technically all my friends are leaving now to live in halls in uni, but I'm moved out to live with like a baby. So I didn't have all the skills that I needed. I didn't know how to clean, or deep clean anyway. I mean, my mum's a Jamaican mum, so she had me hoovering the stairs and whatever, but I didn't know how to deep clean.
I still don't think I know how to deep clean, to be fair.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, we live in Dubai now, so. So I didn't know how to deep clean. I didn't finish learning how to cook. So like my thing was like super noodles, maybe like a stir fry, English fryer. I was really good at that, but I was still learning like my Jamaican like recipes. So for me it was a very daunting experience, but it gave me so much determination to ensure that I'm not going to be a statistic. You're not going to look at me how you look at everyone else, because I'm Ashleigh and no one else is like me. And when you see my son, you're going to see greatness. No one's ever going to turn around and say that he has no manners. No one's ever going to turn around and say that he's getting up to no good or he's in trouble. He's going to be the best well-behaved boy you have ever met, and he's going to turn into an amazing man. And seeing how he is now at the age of 14, he's like interviewing entrepreneurs.
He's amazing.
In
Your
Dubai.
son's amazing.
He carries conversations so well with adults. He has so much manners, and that's why I'm just so glad that I had that, you know, that gut, that fire in my belly to just make sure that we came out different.
And I'm so proud of you. Like I don't even know you that long, but I'm proud just hearing about what you've done and how you've done it, and being a teen mum. I just think, no, I rate her 100%. I don't need to know that much about her, but from what I do know about her, I fully rate her, because I know that it takes a certain mindset. It takes a certain level of self-belief to persevere through that, because I can only imagine what it was like, and what people said about you, and even I can imagine family, and you know, it must not have been easy at all. And what I love about your story, the cherry on the top, is that you and Sean are married, you've got 2 kids together, you're running business together, like you are solid. And I know that, but how long have you guys been together, married before?
So together for around about 17 years, and then married for 13.
So come on.
I know.
Come on. Like, you know, you proved every single person wrong. Did you find that, you know, when you got together, young people like, oh, it's not going to last, or, you know, these sort of things would, you know, they'll say that about your relationship?
Oh, yeah, of course. I think, especially in the beginning, we weren't together like that long before like I got pregnant, probably like a year or so we were together. So that's also not enough time for me to get to know him, if I'm being honest. I knew that at the moment that I met him, he was like my best friend. But I think when you're transitioning from being like a teenager to then an adult, and now all of a sudden you're a mom, and now all of a sudden you're about to get married, it's like there's so many different things that you end up like learning about yourself, but also about each other as well. So there were a lot of people, I'd say, like over the years that were quite negative about our situation and our relationship, and also being pregnant and getting married so early. But I think we just tried our best, if I'm being honest, to be a team as much as we could.
Yeah.
And it was very hard. I think money definitely played a part into most of our hard times together. And you always hear when people get married, they're just like, the biggest thing that'll break up people is finance.
Yeah.
And you don't realise it till you get in it. You're just like, okay, I get it. So, you know, even the times where our food shopping was like £5 to £10 a week, it's like, it's very tough, very tough. And I think at that time, my husband was very prideful. He had a lot of pride, so he wouldn't really tell people that we were struggling because he just wanted to fix it. So yeah, I think with that, for our struggle, that's how we was just able to kind of just be very, very determined in terms of what our next moves were. Yeah.
Wow. And how do you find, when I get asked this question all the time, you know, like, how do you find doing business with your husband? So I want to know your response to that.
To be fair, it's fine because he stays in his lane and I stay in my lane, respectfully. We're both alphas, but we're alphas in our own strengths. So for Sean, he is a go-getter. He will basically see the finish line and he's like running towards it. But then he doesn't see like the mess that he leaves behind.
Yeah, all the crumbs.
He's just going straight forward, but then he's not like looking to the sides and be like, right, let me just fix this, and then go forward. Whereas like my strength is, right, let me fix this. I'll put this together. Let me systemize that. And while you run ahead and make grow the business, let me make sure that it's sustainable and it's consistent. And I think that that's why it's been so easy to work together and it's been so easy to grow the business as business partners, but also as a couple as well, because we just really play on each other's strengths.
Yeah, that's really good as well. I think for anybody that is like looking to work with their partners and they've never done it before, you know, like have roles in a business, know each other's strengths, right? Like he's the, I guess, new business development person and you are operations manager, basically, you know, so, and that's a good combination to have.
Absolutely. I think that anybody that does want to work with their partner, I think treat your business like your marriage, and actually vice versa too. So we treat our marriage like a business too.
Yeah.
And I say that because in a marriage won't be able to sustain unless you check in with each other, unless you have goals, unless you have a plan, unless you're setting each other targets. And that's the same way that it works with business. But also with business, it's like, that's how our home life is actually operated. So Sean grows our home life while I sustain it and make it comfortable and systemise it. So we've applied the exact same methods to both marriage and to business, and I think that's why it's really worked well.
What do you think about like I don't know, I say maybe I'm just old school with my mindset, but like I feel like you know, there are certain mindsets now around like marrying rich or like, you know, getting with a guy that's set. You know, Gen Z are really different in terms of their mindset and the way they look at life. And I love it. They're ambitious, they're go-getters. But I don't know if I'm a bit old school in a sense where, you know, when it comes to relationships, like, I don't think you can lead with money for sustainability, like to sustain something strong, because when you don't have money, right, what's going to get you through? Right. So it's like, what's your mindset on this whole kind of, obviously it's not majority, but I do see it here and there, but there's a lot of talk about when you get a man, you know, make sure he's got his money together, he's got his money checked, you know, what's your mindset on that?
Yeah, I'm completely on the same page with you, to be honest with you. And I think it's such a shame with how far right and how far left people are when it comes to talking about relationships and men meeting women, women meeting men. Like, it's too much. And I think that we're actually forgetting what should be important, and that's principles. Right. And I think when your man has the correct principles, everything else will fall into place. So our life is based on the Bible and it's based on the scriptures. And because we both believe in the Bible, it allows us to be able to, when there's hardships, we're able to kind of face that and conquer that because we're referring back to the Bible. So when people say, keep God at the centre of your marriage, yeah, you have to, because that's all part of your principles. Sean knows that as a man, he needs to provide. And with having a provider, of course, money is going to come, safety is going to come, security is going to come. And as much as women say that, oh, it's just about the money, this and that. No, it's not. Like, we're so emotional.
Right.
We are so emotional, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it is okay.
Yeah.
Like, I can one day be like, right, I'm going to conquer the world. I'm going to have this and that business. But at the same time, I need a hug.
Yeah.
I just want a hug.
Come over today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm staying in bed all day.
Yeah. Like, I just want a hug. I want to be at the point where when I'm operating in my business, I'm operating it from a feminine energy, and I'm operating it from a place that I don't actually need to do this.
Yes.
I want to do this.
Absolutely.
And I think that when you're with a man that doesn't allow you to do that, what happens? You then start running a business out of scarcity and out of a place where you have to survive. Yeah. And as women, we cannot do that. We don't function off survival.
No, we don't.
So looking for a man just for money, it's not going to work long term.
I get it. I do get it because money's important, right? But I guess it's like, what about all the other aspects and the principles of the man? Like, you know, bringing up kids and, you know, how does he view you as well? Like, my husband knows he needs me. It's not in a thing where it's like, oh, you know, he knows that he made his money because, not because of me, but it's like, women play a massive part in a man's success. It's not by accident that most millionaire men are married. Right. Because there's that steady of the wife there, there's that steady of that woman behind you that's always got your back, that's always watching, that's always giving you advice, that's always, you know, it's something where, like, I feel like a man can be successful on his own, of course, but I feel like you can only hit a certain point without a woman's backing, because it's like when his back is turned, you're on the other side watching. Do you know what I mean? If you're on your own, you don't have that person to support you, and it's vice versa as well. So. And women, I feel like women can make or break a man. I genuinely feel like, you know, with your mindset, with words of affirmation, loads of things where it's like, I know I can say a couple of things to my husband and he can be like, right, I'm ready for the day. Right. You know what I mean? But it's like, if I say something where it's like, or if I start negative, I've got to be very mindful of like how I speak. Even if I'm feeling a certain way, I don't know if you can relate. If I'm feeling a certain way, like, I have to check myself. Yeah. Because like, that's not going to do him no good. Right. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, no, I hear it. I think at the end of the day, money is paper. And I've always said, because we've lived a life where we didn't have anything. Yeah. And there wasn't even carpet in the flat and that kind of thing. I'm not scared to go back because I have the skills that I didn't have back then to get me exactly to where I need to be. Yeah. So, and I think that when you've got the skills, you're not really scared to kind of lose anything. And I've always said to my husband that if we were to lose everything tomorrow, I would literally still be here and we'd go again. Go again. Let's go again. Right, yeah. Exactly. So what's your... obviously, you got your business together, and you built it together. What's your what's your thing? I mean, with me, I always feel like it's really healthy for you as a woman to have like stuff that you're truly passionate about. You're just whatever makes you, feel alive. And I feel like when you're married and you've got your kids and you've built a business together, you've done so much with your husband and it's a beautiful thing and it's such an accomplishment. But I feel like women go through seasons. Yeah. I feel like, I think they said like every 7 to 8 years that a woman kind of has a new version of herself. Like you're constantly evolving. So I feel like when you got to that point when you've had your kids, business is doing well, marriage is well, there's going to be something else that's like, okay, this is I'm stepping into a new season now. Who is this Ashleigh 2.0? Who is it? I've got the business. I'm out of survival mode. I have nice holidays. I've got a decent life, but it's still that something is. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, no, I hear it. What is like your? What is like? I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to look at. My thing. Yeah, because I know you've got your thing, but it's like, when it comes to you, Ashleigh as the woman, not the mum, not the wife. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear it. I think that's a question that will always be a little bit unanswered for me, because again, like, I do go through a lot of seasons. I know my Instagram followers are just sick of me with rebranding all the time. But I like to pivot and I like to move, just because the person that I am is constantly pivoting and like learning and moving as well at the same time. So I actually recently went through a change again where I accidentally retired myself in a way. Oh my God, I'm so bored. I'm like, I'm really bored.
Oh my gosh.
And I think because I've worked so much, like, I mean, I've been grafting since I was 17. I was just really looking forward. Like, it sounded really appealing. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, we're going to move to Dubai. I'm going to have 6 months off. Like, I'm going to live my best life. But I'm just bored.
Oh,
I'm really, really bored. And I'm still grateful.
Yes.
Because, again, the only reason why I was able to accidentally retire myself at 32, now 33, is because I systemised my business so much. But I ended up systemising myself out of the business.
Yes.
So now I'm just in that space where I'm like, okay, Ash, what is it that you want to do? And I think for me, it's always been about helping people.
Yeah.
I'm just really passionate.
Yeah.
And before, I used to think too much in terms of, right, what's my next business idea?
Yeah.
And then ChatGPT is getting worn out and sick of me. Like, it's just, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And actually didn't need that much thinking. And I have actually now discovered what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And that's something that I have been naturally doing.
Yeah.
I'm the friend that people normally come to where they're like, Ash, this is happening in my business.
Yeah.
What should I do?
Yeah.
Ash, can you help me with this?
Yeah.
Oh, what systems did you use? And I'm like, oh, actually, this is something here.
Yeah.
And I think that I can definitely go into maybe helping people to scale and helping those moms that was just like me and like struggling to kind of move from number one being on benefits to then going into something full time or having their own thing. And that is what makes me passionate. That is what lights my fire now.
Yeah.
So hopefully whatever that looks like, that is what I'm going to be moving into.
Yeah, and that's beautiful, because at the end of the day, like, God uses your pain for purpose. And I always say, like, you know, money is very important. Get money first. Get your paper together first, because at the end of the day, you can't even think about helping anybody until you've helped yourself. Right? Put the oxygen mask on yourself first. So, yes. And it's like, it gets us, you have billionaires and millionaires that literally commit suicide because it's like, it gets to a point where the money doesn't do anything, right? Not that you're not grateful, but it's like, how many Lamborghinis can you buy? How many holidays can you go on? How many, it gets, you know, it gets to a point where it's like, you want to have impact, legacy and outreach. And there's nothing more fulfilling than helping others from your place of pain, because you know where their mind is at, you know exactly what they're thinking, what they're going through, where their mental health is. So it sounds very aligned.
Oh yeah, of course. And it's like, I've always said it, like, I'm just so proud of my mum, because again, like, she was a single mom. So, you know, seeing how she was, there wasn't many women in her time that would kind of show up as the way that we're showing up today. And she didn't really have that many role models. And I'm just like, I wish, like, my mum had someone that, you know, was like us around her at the time, because, like, I feel like she would have really needed it. And that's something that I just want to start implementing now, because I still think that there's women out there that are still struggling, but just need a bit of guidance, and they just like need help from someone that is genuine and like actually passionate about wanting to help them.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's amazing to hear. Okay, so what would you say is the key things, let's put it down to 3 things that somebody needs to do, right? But bringing it back down to business now, to get their business off the ground. So a lot of people come to me, they say, you know, I've got this idea, I don't know what to do, how to do it, right? And I truly believe, like, you can monetize most things these days. Most things. Well, I feel like we live in an era which we're so blessed to be in, where it's like you can have your audience, you can monetize your audience, things like that. However, a lot of people don't do it. They don't know how to do it. They, you know, they struggle. So as a businesswoman yourself, what would you say is like 3 fundamentals for any business to kind of get itself off the ground?
I think number 1, don't be quiet about it. I think that a lot of people are a bit scared to say, oh, I'm starting this or I'm doing that, just in case someone copies them or someone's gonna, put any negative energy over them. Like, okay, forget all of that, because if it's meant to be, it will be, and God's already ordained it, so just do it, right? You need to speak about it, because you don't know who's going to be listening in on your idea and how they could possibly help you. And I think it's so important to just shout about exactly what you're doing, because then you end up getting the support straight away. I'd also say as well to get yourself out there. So for me, I'm like an extrovert, introvert, and I actually really hate networking. I really hate networking, but networking helped shape our business. Like, we wouldn't be where we are without that initial networking. Go to everything, like even the bits that aren't actually in your industry, because you might meet someone that has funding in another industry but was looking to get into yours, so you might be like the gateway for them coming into your industry. So definitely, like, get out more, go to networking, meet more people, get more contacts, tell everyone what you're doing. The third thing as well is to set yourself a goal and actually to take some time to think about why you're doing this. So a lot of people will start businesses, and because money is like the main focus of like why they're doing it, they get negged out when they haven't had profit for 1 month, or after a year it's not working, and then they basically close it down. And if you've written down your goal and you've written down your why, none of that will matter, because you'll go a year or two without getting paid. But because of your why, it's the only reason why you would end up pushing forward with it. So definitely have your why. My why has always been my children, and in times where I felt sad or I want to close the business down and I just want to give up, I'm like, no, I can't, because I have to do it for them. I have to keep pushing through. And if something's not working, pivot, think of something else that will make it better, but don't give up.
Right. Yeah. Amazing. No, that's amazing advice. Absolutely. So get yourself out there, network, and write down your why. What is the reason why you're doing it, and make sure that's keeping you pillared.
Oh yeah. Especially if you're a Christian, and obviously you're listening to this, get God involved from the start. I think that's one of the mistakes that we did make in our journey, is that we didn't get God involved with our business. So when things were tough, we didn't think, oh, let's pray. We'd only kind of go to God when things were going right, and we're like, oh my God, thank you, God, thank you. But then we don't go to him like, when we actually really need help. And I do believe that just having God around you to like cover your business, there's nothing else that could tear that down or destroy it, as long as God's in the centre of everything that you do. So I definitely say, make sure that you're praying, you're covering, you're making sure that this is exactly what God wants you to do in everything that you do.
Yeah.
I mean, even with moving to Dubai, I said, listen, God, if you don't want me to be here, just let me know, because I don't want to come all the way here and I'm homeless and I've got nowhere to live and things are going wrong. And I went to him and everything just started to fall into place. So gotta have him in the centre.
Yeah. And do you and Sean, are you quite do you pray together? Do you do all that, like, and when it comes to Christianity, I just remember in my journey with it, like I was very much, in our early days, I was very much the one dragging my husband to church, and then slowly he got into it. Was that like, what was the dynamic like with you when it came to church?
I think, we both grew up in church. We was just in different denominations. So it was one of those ones where we just kind of went to go because it was just part of routine, but we didn't actually have a relationship with God. And even like when we first got married, again, I think that we just didn't really have a personal relationship with God, which is why I believe sometimes some of the hardships that we've gone through was because we didn't go to him, or we didn't have that relationship. Whereas I found in like the last few years or so, with us growing and developing our relationship with him personally, it's actually helped everything else around us. And it's helped our relationship. We've always known that God is there, but when you actually truly get to know him, it's just so different. Like church just feels different, and it's just really, really good.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Ashleigh, for your time today.
No problem.
And for those that don't know you and want to find you, where are you?
Sure. So I'm on Instagram at Ashleigh Victoria Davis. I'm also on TikTok as well. And don't kill me, I am going to make a LinkedIn. I have got it, I just forgot my password. But I will be on LinkedIn and it'll be Ashleigh Victoria Davis as well.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, guys, for tuning in today. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.